But anyway, let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. So we and just check how your mind is. What are you coming in with tonight? So feet flat on the floor, about a hips width apart. Shoulders are aligned with the hips, and imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light that stretches from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So just really lengthen the spine. Be sitting on top of your sits bones. Your hands can be just relaxed anywhere in your lap. Lengthen the back of the neck. Just put a little bit of length in the back of the neck. And just relax the crown of the head and the forehead. The whole area on the top of the scalp, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the chin, the jaw, your temples, the back of the tongue. Relax the back of the head. Relax the neck, the shoulders, and allow your shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat, the chest, and the belly, and all of your limbs. And breathe. Take a nice deep breath and just notice the sensations of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. So the coolness of the air as you inhale and the warmth as you exhale. And then you might notice even the sensation of those tiny little hairs inside the nostrils moving as you breathe in and out. So this is like a fine-pointed concentration. When you're breathing, you're noticing the breath and you're breathing in and out. Now you broaden your concentration a little bit, like like sometimes you have those torches where you can have a very kind of tiny little spotlight on something and then you just twist the head of the torch and it kind of opens out. So now open out your awareness and just notice if there are any sounds in your environment and just allow them to be there. Just be aware of them. Try not to follow with the mind. And then this is also part of mindfulness. And then just notice the thoughts that are arising and just allow those thoughts to arise, to abide. Try not to follow them or criticize them or create a story or follow a story. Just allow the thoughts to be there and just notice what's there. You don't have to do anything else with it. Just be curious. Take note. And don't forget to breathe. And then bring to mind all the people of your life. So now we're moving more to a more analytical kind of a meditation where we build on equanimity to develop compassion. So we start with this meditation on equanimity, and it also has a little bit of a meditation on impermanence in there. So the friend, the one you don't like, the strangers, bring them to mind. Know that they can change place at any time. And then there's those, good to note that those people are all equal in their wish to be happy, their wish to be free from suffering, and having this extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. So breathe. And so if there's anyone in your life you think might need a little bit of help, so just bring them to your mind and think that we will do this meditation for all those people of our life, even the ones we don't like, and by extension, all sentient beings, the dogs, the cats, the birds, insects. So I just think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And you just think there is this purification process is a psychological one. We're creating negativity with our mind. So equally, we can change it by creating positivity instead. And I've just seen some names there. I'm aware that there might be people here who haven't done this Vajrasattva mantra before. So if that is you, just imagine, do the visualization. You don't necessarily need to count the mantra if you don't want to. Just imagine it flowing into you. But now we're at the beginning. So we start, this is a practice of purification in the context of Vajrasattva, in the context of the four opponent powers, because their opponent they help to oppose different delusions. So we start with the power of regret. So regret is not the same as guilt. Guilt is very unhelpful. It's a very unhelpful emotion. It's kind of like almost anger. Regret is kind of more like taking responsibility, and it implies that we want to actually do something about something. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives, and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, action. We experience everything due to our past actions, even a tiny grain of rice, the meal that we've had, the roof that's over our head, all based on our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience some kind of suffering in the future. We understand about suffering. We don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to pull those karmic seeds out before they actually ripen. It's like you pull out the weeds before they start making a mess of your garden. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also think we will regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and then think, I'm sick of this suffering. So then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come, the power of reliance. And we have in this section, little section on about developing refuge and then developing compassion. So refuge is a bit like when you go to the doctor or the dentist because you've got something wrong with you. You go and you take refuge in your doctor. You go ask them for help. This is a kind of similar thing. So we have this, we rely upon, we turn to, in this case, the Buddha, Vajrasattva, who we see as a doctor, who has methods that we can use to purify. So we're not looking for a higher power. This is not God. This is not someone who's going to do it all for us. This is just a Buddha. You can also think, if you have a teacher, this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for my benefit. So we're relying upon his medicine, his methods. So you imagine this Buddha above the crown of your head, facing the same way as you, a couple of inches above the crown. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And this lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud, just like our enlightened potential, born out of our delusions, but yet untainted by them. And he has this beautiful radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, and this represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. I don't think anything's sharing, Michael. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. There we are. There's our beautiful Vajrasattva. Just one sec. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. And so then we come to this concept of compassion. So we did a little meditation on equanimity. That's the first step to developing compassion. We did that at the beginning. And now we think about all the people we've harmed. And think about having a wish for them to be free from suffering. And then think about the people who've harmed you. And you can feel the same way about them. And the extra bit here is the reason you want to think about them being free from suffering is because the suffering they've caused you is going to manifest sometime down the track as something difficult for them in the future. So we're not looking at revenge here. Ha ha ha, gosh, you've hurt me. That's going to come back on you. That's going to happen. And then because of that, we say, oh, I'm so sorry. Develop a wish for them to be free from suffering. So then we come to the power of the remedy, and this is where we recite the mantra. We do the actual practice. This is the medicine. So we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. It arcs around, it enters your crown and pours into your entire body and fills you completely, and it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Zipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Zipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Am Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Am Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Am Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Am Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Am Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of your speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying, talking badly about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you, all of this completely purified by this powerful nectar filling you and overflowing. Om Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hompe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum. Okay. So be happy that your speech is now completely purified and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And this includes yourself because every syllable you utter, you hear. And then it also includes things that you write in emails, letters, cards, what you put on Facebook. So don't just think that what's in your speech doesn't matter, has no consequence. It does. You can use your speech to be of enormous benefit to others. So by doing these kind of practices, we develop wisdom around our speech, around what comes out of our mouth. So next is the purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So imagining again, we walk into a pitch black room, we flick on that switch and the light instantly dispels the darkness. So the same here, the moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your attachment and neediness and bitterness, anger, depression, anxiety, resentment, jealousy, grudges, all instantly dispelled, not one atom left. Om Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hompe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think now, there is no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of the imprints of negative energy of the body, speech, and mind. So just imagine light and nectar flowing into you through the crown of your head. And just completely fills you and eradicates all those negative energies from the mind. Very, very subtle negative energies. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve And this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And it's pretty crucial. This is the determination to not harm with our body, speech, and mind. And so without making a decision to do anything, we're not going to do anything. So we just have to want it. We've just got to decide. I want to make money. I want to go and I need a job. I want to eat. I'm going to get up and go to the fridge and get something. I want to shop. I mean, anything. I want to hug my friend. Anything. You've got to decide that's what you want to do. So when we decide we want to refrain from harming, it sends our mind into different directions, more positive directions. Becomes like a little bit like guardrails. So think of something that you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow, maybe just something really simple that you know might be slightly harmful to either yourself. It could be negative self-talk. It could be too much chocolate. It could be talking about people behind their back. It could be anything. But maybe just if you know it's a habit for you or it's something that you do that harms you or doesn't really serve you in any way, just maybe think about releasing that habit. And perhaps even if you just think about it or look at it or make a determination around it for a minute, 50 seconds, 3 seconds, whatever you can do. And Vajrasattva is delighted with us, wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And you can just think that my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, my own body, speech, and mind become one. So there's a little bit here on emptiness. So just think at whatever level you understand this concept. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So we can think of all phenomena as being empty. They don't exist from their own side. You can also think that sometimes the way things appear to me, they just might not be the way they exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for all the sake of all sentient beings as quickly as possible. And so then think for the long life of His Holiness Dalai Lama. Just make a strong wish for His Holiness Dalai Lama to live long, to keep teaching, and then for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and then for any of your own personal teachers. Make a strong wish for them to live long because, you know, we rely on them. And there's somebody in the chat here. Nothing. It's gone. Okay. All right, everybody. Good night. Lots of love. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you all so much for coming. Sweet dreams and take care. Good luck at the market tomorrow. Coral, good luck everybody else, whatever you're doing on the weekend. Stay safe and I'll see you on Monday.